Hi everybody, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. Now, normally when I create a video, it's something which I have got on my mind. I either want to discuss something in an Az chats, or I have a specific bit of news which I want to bring you, or a feature, or maybe a little secret, or whatever. But today's video has actually been influenced by what I saw on the front page of MMO-Champion today, because it cross-referenced with something that I've mentioned very recently. And when I did my 5 things which I absolutely believe should have gone into patch 6.1 video, and don't worry, this isn't a 6.1 video. One thing I did mention, though, was reputations, and how reputations were really poor in Warlords of Draenor. But that's just an opinion, my opinion. I didn't have any statistics to back it up with. But on the front page of MMO-Champ today, they have actually got a plethora of statistics taken over 6.1 million characters on 3.1 million accounts. So that's pretty much 2 characters per account it's working off here, of how many people have got exalted with the various reputations in Warlords of Draenor. Bearing in mind now that it's been with us, what, November, December, January, February, March, 4 months. So we're near about 4.5 months into Warlords. So this was very interesting, because not only did it corroborate what I've been thinking about the reputation system, I can now go a little bit more in depth about why it's not working. So again, big thank you to MMO-Champ for the statistics which I'm going to hit you with in this video. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to link their article in the description box down below. Please click it, go to the website, check it out for yourself, read the comments, see exactly what people are saying about Warlords of Draenor rep. Spoilers, not too happy about it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to group some of these reputations together, the ones which are very similar to each other. So first up, Council of Exarchs and the Frostwolf Orcs. They're the Horde and Alliance storylines at level 90 when you first arrive on Draenor. What you do to gain reputation is, if you follow the storyline, you will start to get rep by doing quests with them. Complete a quest, it'll give you X amount of reputation. But the storyline is finite, i.e. it comes to an end at a certain point. So does the rep. Not exactly sure, can't remember off the top of my head exactly when, but I think it's either somewhere when you're in Honoured, or you might just squeeze over into Revered, but it's somewhere around there. And the way that you gain the rest of your reputation is by going to, an area at the starting zone. For the Alliance, you'll go to Socrathar's Rise, which you can see here. And then we've got Funtime Frank in the other zone. And you just kill mobs. You now just kill mobs, and you'll gain reputation by killing them, as you can see, in really low numbers. And that will complete it. Now, if you decided not to do the storyline to a huge degree, maybe doing a little bit here and there, but as soon as you got to a certain level, then you got the hell out of Dodge in that area, you've already put yourself at a little bit of a disadvantage here, because you haven't gained the reputation through the questing system. So this is going to be very grindy when you go to these areas if you want to push it to Exalted. So, speaking of Exalted, how many people on the Alliance side achieved an Exalted reputation with the Council of Exarchs? 1.72%. And how many people on the Horde side achieved an Exalted reputation with the Frostwolf clan? 0.94%. That is staggeringly low. Now again, very similar ways of getting reputation, storyline giving rep, and then the grind. Now, if you had the trading post in your garrison, you could unlock the Laughing Skull Orcs, or you could unlock the Shatari Defense if you're Alliance. And the way that you got reputation for these people was purely by Emperor Xiaohowing it. You know that dick on the Timeless Isle where you just killed the Yangol over and over and over and over again. They gave you terribly low reputation and you had to grind it for weeks, months. Hell, I still haven't got Exalted with Emperor Xiaohao, and 5.4 was with us for 14 bloody months, for Christ's sake. I was that bored of doing it. Very regressive content this is, especially when we saw innovative things like the Law Walker reputation at the beginning of Mists of Pandaria. So, if you do have the trading post in your garrison, what percentage of players manage to achieve an Exalted reputation with the Laughing Skull or Shatari defense? 0.9%. Again, not even a full percent. Now, of course, you have to have this building in your garrison to unlock this. So of the accounts which we've discussed, 3.1 million accounts, we don't know how many of those actually have the trading post in. But I think it's a relatively popular building. So I think, I'd have at least a guesstimate that a lot. A decent amount at least. But still, 0.9%, pretty darn pathetic. Okay, so now let's look at the Steam Wheedle Preservation Society. Now, these guys are based in Nagrand. The way that you gain reputation with them is the creatures which are found nearby to them, and a little bit further afield as well. If you kill them, then they will drop artifacts. They'll drop common artifacts. If you find a high mold cache, you can open that up. You'll find some common artifacts and also a rare artifact in there as well. And then there are a certain amount of rare elites scattered all over the place in Nagrand. If you kill them, they will drop an epic item. All these get handed in with the quartermaster for reputation. So it's a slight variation on the Emperor Xiaohao. And as opposed to just immediately gaining the reputation, you actually have to accrue a certain amount of artifacts and then hand them in for rep. So a little bit different, but still pretty grindy content. Nothing really massively innovative about it whatsoever. How many people have achieved an Exalted reputation with this faction? 4%. Now, you get reputation with these guys quicker because 20 of the common artifacts you can hand in for, I don't know, 200 odd rep or something like that. And then the epic ones that you hand in, you probably get a good, 500 or so for those. So probably the reason why it's 4% is it's slightly easier because it gives more reputation than just the Emperor Xiaohao grind of the others. But still, 4%. Not particularly many. That's 96% that just CBA. And then we have Ashran. And I've got to be very careful what I say about Ashran because it's so easy to tear apart this place. And this is not what this video is about. If you want to see a video of me tearing Ashran limb from limb, just give me a nod in the comments down below. And trust me, I will go feral on its ass. But the reason why I'm going to bring Ashran into it is because, again, you can gain reputation with either Vol'jin's Spear or Rin's Vanguard. Now, I spent 40 minutes in Ashran today to see how I would gain reputation. And in that 40 minutes, I gained about 1,200. Let's say I was on the Alliance side, fiercely outgunned by a vastly superior horde numbers. Goodness me, we must have been outnumbered 3 or 4 to 1. They were simply coming through like a swarm of locusts. And how did I get rep? Well, not from PvPing, which was an absolute joke. You don't get reputation by killing enemy players. You don't get reputation by actually completing the objective of what Ashran is, which is to take the flags and push the opposition back into their base. It was ludicrous. The way that I got reputation was by killing NPCs, by doing PvE objectives, and then I think you get a few if you can loot the bodies, and the emphasis on if you can loot the bodies and get the artifacts from them to send back, then you get reputations then. I couldn't loot a single bloody body of anyone that I killed. It's ridiculous, absolutely ludicrous. It's a free, as soon as they dropped, somebody else was like, Yog. and then nab them and empty them out. So by the time I got to the body, no, couldn't click onto it, couldn't get anything from it. So in a PvP environment, the way that you gain reputation was through the most part by doing PvE objectives, which was just lunacy. But that said, I got 1,000, like I said, I got about 1,200 in the space of 40 minutes when I was complete and utterly outnumbered. If I was on the flip side, so if I was part of the horde and I was, you know, smashing my way through, possibility is that I could have picked up a lot more reputation a bit quicker. So how many people have managed to get exalted with either Vol'jin Spear or Rin's Vanguard? Well, not much of a surprise. It does seem to be a relatively quick way to get to get reputation. 9.33%. But that's still 90.67%. Again, no, that haven't. And also bear in mind, this is the only way that you can get rep with these people. This is it. Ashran or bust. No other way. There's no battlegrounds, no new battlegrounds with which to get it. You want the reputation with these guys, Ashran is the place to do it in. Which brings us on to our final reputation, which is the Arakoa Outcasts. And it's going to come as absolutely no surprise whatsoever to discover that the way that you get reputation with these guys is, yeah, Emperor Shao Hao style once more. Kill them, kill them, kill them, gain low levels of reputation until you hit Exalted in the year 2354. But there is an alternative method of getting rep with the Arakoa Outcasts, and that's by doing absolutely nothing. No, seriously. Not even killing a single mob or lifting a finger barely. All you gotta do is wait in your garrison for a mission to pop on your command table. Send your followers away. If they complete it, they'll get an Arakoa Outcast token, which is bind on account. Send the tokens to the account that you want the reputation with, the character at least that you want the reputation with, and when you use them, you'll gain about 3,000 rep a pop. This is the way that I did it, because I was no way going to grind out another boring rep with which to get exalted. So how many of us managed to plow on through and eventually get exalted with this faction? Well, it's not going to surprise you. It's another low number. It's 4.39%. And that's the exact problem that we have with these factions. There is so little to differentiate one from the other. The Arakoa Outcasts, you either wait for the garrison missions to pop to send the tokens to your character, or it's a full-on grind. The Council of Exarchs, the Frostwolf Orcs, you get a bit of storyline to start with, and then it's a grind to finish with. The Wheedle Preservation Society, full-on grind. Laughing Skull, Shatari Defense, full-on grind. And then you've got the bizarre PvP/PvE hybrid to get your PvP rep in Ashran. I know, it's a lore unto itself, isn't it? There's nothing innovative here whatsoever. Nothing is grabbing you by the scruff of the neck and saying, hey, do me, as a faction whatsoever. And another huge issue is, if you put all your effort into grinding the reputation with, let's say, the Arakoa or the Laughing Skull, because it takes so much time and mental effort to do it, by the time you've completed one, the last thing that you want to do is to do the same old shit on a different faction. No way! That's when you need a break. That's when you need something cool and interesting, like we had with the Lore Walker rep in Mists of Pandaria. Remember, with Mists rep, we had the awful goddamn daily grind. And what was a little ray of light in that was we could just jump onto our flying mounts, go around Pandaria, and start searching for these scrolls with which to get the reputation. It was something completely new, completely different, and broke up the monotony of that. And what really puts the shit on the shit cake is that when you do get your breaks and reputation with these factions, the Quartermasters are offering the most average items that you could possibly imagine. You could get a 615 trinket that might help you a little bit while leveling up, but if you are level 100, well, it's going to be useful for all of about 2 hours. Yes, you can get a couple of pets, and yes, there are some mounts on offer, but the mounts are just high-res reskins of what we've seen hundreds of times in the World of Warcraft. Oh look, it's a high-res wolf. Oh look, it's a high-res elk, or a high-res talbuk to go with the hundreds of talbuks that I got from Hala back in the Burning Crusade. And even if you got the boar from the Steam Wheedle Preservation Society, if you have the stables, you'd already have one. It's just a slightly different colour. And there wasn't anything really massively great about them either. The saddles weren't really grandiose that made you think, oh, aren't they looking extra cool? And there was also the follower contracts, but why spend money when you can get followers left, right and centre all over Draenor? And the toys that they offered, some of them were just verging on bizarre. Not even fun or interesting, just really, really weird. Something that you probably purchase, right click to go in your toy tab, and never, ever touch again. And that really kind of just summed everything up with these reputations. But where do you fit into this equation? Have you got Exalted with any of these factions, or are you one of the masses out there that simply cannot be bothered to finish this off? And let's face it, I really can't blame you whatsoever. I'd love to hear what you've got to say in the comments down below. And I hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel. Follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming. Those links are in the description down below. And I'll be back with more stuff very soon. You take care, everybody. Bye-bye.